Have you ever felt like the more you explain yourself, the less people understand you? Like every time you open your mouth to defend your truth, they twist it into something ugly. There's a reason for that. And it's far deeper than you think. Because what if I told you, the words you speak are sacred currency? What if I told you, your voice has spiritual weight, and right now, it's being wasted on people who don't even have the ears to hear you? Listen to me carefully, and I mean very carefully, because if you ignore this, you'll keep suffering. Not because you're weak, but because you keep handing your spiritual power to people who were never meant to carry it. You talk too much, and it's costing you your destiny. Now, you feel that, don't you? The tiredness. The spiritual exhaustion. It's not just from life, it's from over-explaining yourself to people who have already made up their minds about you. It's from revealing spiritual downloads to friends who were never meant to hear your secrets. It's from sharing divine plans with minds still trapped in the matrix. And God has been warning you, in whispers, in gut feelings, in broken friendships. But you didn't listen. So now I'm here. To tell you what heaven has been trying to get across. Silence is not weakness. It is your weapon. And the reason your life feels blocked, delayed, or confusing is because your voice is being spent in the wrong direction. Before we go deeper, I want to release a special blessing into your life within the next 60 seconds. Quickly hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and smash the like button to help this message reach more chosen ones like you. Once you've done that, you've officially sent your request to the universe. Stay focused for the next 60 seconds, then type "Thank you, universe" in the comments to affirm your blessing. If you have any other prayer requests, feel free to leave them below as well. May God bless you even more abundantly. You see, chosen one, your words are not ordinary. They carry frequency, authority, assignment. Every time you speak, you shift something in the unseen realm. But the enemy knows that. That's why he sends distractions dressed as friends. That's why he sends arguments, debates, and drama. To get you to spill your oil in places God never authorized. The truth is, every time you talk to the wrong person, your spirit leaks. Every time you argue with someone committed to misunderstanding you, your soul contracts. Every time you expose your vision before it matures, you kill its potential. You were called to deliver something sacred. But you keep announcing it to people still stuck in spiritual diapers. And that's why they don't get you. That's why they laugh at your dreams. That's why they mock your lifestyle. Because you keep casting pearls before pigs. And pearls weren't meant for pigs. You are a prophet leaking prophecy at a dinner table full of doubters. You are royalty explaining yourself to peasants who never learned your language. You are light, arguing with darkness, wondering why it doesn't see you. Silence is your shield. And the reason your soul is heavy is because you've been bleeding secrets that were meant to be guarded. Let's go deeper. When God begins to elevate a chosen one, he always does two things. First, he isolates them. Then, he silences them. Why? Because silence protects what is sacred. In silence, your spirit grows. In silence, your vision sharpens. In silence, your enemies get confused, because they don't know what you're thinking anymore. And that's power. But right now, you're giving the enemy a blueprint. You're giving jealous spirits a map to your next move. You're giving dream killers front row seats to your process, and wondering why your prayers seem delayed. It's not that God isn't answering. It's that you keep announcing what hasn't finished cooking yet. You keep pulling spiritual fruit off the tree before it's ripe. And it spoils. So let me ask you something real. How many times have you regretted saying too much? How many nights have you laid in bed, replaying the conversation, wishing you had just stayed quiet? How many people now know parts of you that were only meant for God? You think you're being open, honest, vulnerable, but some of them aren't listening with love. They're listening with envy. They're listening with suspicion. They're listening just to gather intel on how to bring you down later. And the crazy thing is, you feel it while you're talking. Your spirit is screaming, Stop talking. They don't get it. But you ignore the signal. You keep talking, explaining, defending, hoping they'll understand. They won't. Because spiritual things can only be discerned spiritually. And they are not spiritual. Chosen one, your words are royal garments. Stop throwing them in the mud. Not everyone deserves to hear your pain. Not everyone can handle your anointing. Not everyone is called to witness your process. Some people are just spies. And I need you to understand this next part, because this is where your life changes. The enemy doesn't just attack your actions. He attacks your tongue. Because your words are prophecy. And if he can get you talking to the wrong people, or speaking the wrong things over your life, he can hijack your future. You've been releasing declarations of power in places where there's no agreement. You've been telling dreamers your vision, but they don't dream at your level. You've been wasting warfare energy on people who just like to argue. And your soul is exhausted. God is saying, stop leaking. Start listening. He's not punishing you with silence. He's inviting you into mastery. Because mature warriors don't speak unless commanded. They don't explain. They discern. They don't reveal. They preserve. You're not just someone with potential. You're someone on divine assignment. But your words must match your destiny. And your silence must match your maturity. Here's what's been happening in your personal life. You feel unseen, misunderstood, isolated. You feel like no one gets your heart. You feel like people keep misreading your intentions. And you're starting to doubt yourself. But you're not the problem. Your placement is just changing. God is shifting your audience. You've been performing your soul in front of the wrong crowd. And now, heaven is shutting your mouth to open your mind. He's silencing your lips to sharpen your ears. Because where you're going, discernment is more important than dialogue. Chosen one, you're about to enter a season where God hides you in plain sight. Where your silence becomes your sword. Where your absence becomes louder than your presence. And people will feel the weight of you, even when you say nothing at all. Because when you stop talking, you start seeing. You start hearing. You start elevating. This is why the spiritual pressure has increased. This is why your circle is getting smaller. This is why you've been feeling a pull inward. It's not depression. It's divine refinement. You are being trained in the art of holy silence. So that when you speak next time, mountains move. Demons flee. Doors open. You are not here to entertain. You are here to impact. And impact requires discipline. Even with your tongue. Because remember, words create worlds. And the next world God is creating through you must be spoken with precision. Not passion. Not pressure. But power. So let them misunderstand you. Let them gossip. Let them assume. Let them fill in the blanks. Because while they're busy talking about you, God is busy talking to you. And that is where your strength is. In the secret place. In the silence. In the stillness. Where only the chosen can hear. You've reached a spiritual intersection. A point where God is no longer just calling you chosen. He's requiring you to walk like it. And that means silence isn't optional. It's sacred strategy. You've been wasting gold on conversations made of sand. You've been breaking spiritual bread with people still eating from the serpent's table. And the Spirit of God is saying, no more. Because where you're going, your voice will become your authority. And you can't afford to hand that authority to people who only see you as ordinary. Chosen one, your silence isn't weakness. It's warfare. It's wisdom. It's wealth. And now, your silence will begin to speak louder than your explanations ever did. The people who used to ignore you, they will feel your absence like thunder. The ones who once mocked your vision, they'll start watching in silence, wondering how you rose so high. And the same mouths that once questioned your value will one day whisper your name with trembling. But hear this, you must pass this test. God has hidden treasures inside your silence. Divine instructions, new assignments, spiritual upgrades. But you won't receive them while you're still talking to people beneath your calling. You've outgrown conversations that only feed your ego. You need encounters that feed your destiny. And to get there, you must embrace silence like it's sacred. Let me show you what's really been happening behind the scenes. That friendship that broke suddenly. That person who ghosted you. That conversation that ended in confusion and pain. It wasn't random. It was protection. Because God heard the conversations they had about you in private. He saw their envy when you shared your dream. He watched as they smiled to your face, but doubted your vision in their heart. So he shut it down. He cut the cord. Not to hurt you, but to protect the oil on your life. And what did you do? You tried to go back. You tried to explain. You tried to make peace where God had made an exit. That's why the pain lingers. Not because they hurt you, but because you betrayed your own spirit trying to justify it. Chosen one. Stop talking to people who don't have the capacity to carry your spirit. Stop giving explanations to those who haven't earned the right to your truth. Stop revisiting places that rejected your anointing. Your silence is not just about others. It's about you. It's about self-respect, spiritual alignment, heavenly obedience. Because silence teaches you how to hear again. And when you hear again, you begin to see what's really happening. You'll begin to notice that every time you spoke prematurely, something got delayed. You'll notice that every time you announced your breakthrough, opposition increased. You'll notice that the more you tried to justify your process, the heavier it became. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual law. Heaven doesn't anoint the loudest voice. Heaven anoints the most obedient vessel. And if God is telling you to shut your mouth, it's because your next level depends on it. And when you finally do, when you finally surrender the need to be understood, you will be elevated beyond anything you've known. Let me speak this over your life now. You are stepping into a divine season of holy silence. Not to punish you, but to purify you. Not to shrink you, but to shape you. Not to reject you, but to refine you. In this silence, God is going to show you who's really for you. In this silence, your discernment will be sharpened like a sword. In this silence, you'll stop looking for validation in broken places. You'll start walking like royalty. Like someone who knows their worth. Like someone who doesn't chase conversations, but carries presence. You're about to witness the power of saying nothing. Of letting your spirit do the talking. Of letting God defend you instead of defending yourself. Because when you stop trying to prove your value, heaven begins to showcase it. The people who once dismissed you, they'll start studying you in silence. The ones who mocked your quiet, they'll soon recognize the thunder behind it. And the doors that were closed, they're about to open, because silence was the final test. The next time you speak, it won't be from insecurity. It will be from spiritual authority. The next time you open your mouth, it will release transformation, not frustration. The next time you speak, it won't be to convince, it will be to command. But you had to learn silence first. Because silence teaches you the value of your own voice. And now, chosen one, your future begins. You will walk into rooms and say nothing, but shift the entire atmosphere. You will sit in meetings and speak one sentence, and destinies will be altered. You will post one word, and chains will break. Because you are no longer speaking from your soul. You are speaking from the Spirit. Your silence is sacred. Your words are weapons. And your presence is prophetic. So rest. Retreat. Let them wonder what happened to you. Let them ask where you went. Let them sit in their confusion. Because while they're wondering, you're rising. You're healing. You're building in silence. You're becoming unshakable. And when you return, you won't be the same. You'll be wiser, sharper, untouchable. That's your portion. That's your promise. And no one can steal it, unless you speak too soon. So now, stay silent and let heaven speak for you. If this message struck a deep chord in your soul, I want you to do two things. First, type "I receive this silence" in the comments as a declaration, not just a comment. And second, share this with someone who talks too much and doesn't even know they're delaying their blessing. Subscribe if you're ready for the next revelation. We're just getting started. And remember, sometimes the most powerful sound is no sound at all.